Okay, so picture this app, right? It's meant to be like your ultimate shield for online dating.
Sort of a Yelp for relationships? Is that the idea?
Exactly, yeah. Women could anonymously rate guys, leave reviews.
Sounds potentially useful on the surface.
Yeah.
That idea of crowdsourcing safety.
Right, and this wasn't just some hypothetical. It was real, the T app.
Ah, T. Yes, I remember the buzz.
And it just, boom, went viral, shot straight to the top of the App Store.
Huge download numbers. Everyone's talking about it.
Totally. Designed to, protect and inform women, add that layer of safety.
It definitely tapped into a real concern, didn't it? That feeling of uncertainty in dating.
It absolutely did. Clearly hit a nerve. But that's where the story takes this really sharp and honestly pretty alarming turn.
Yeah, the downfall was almost as fast as the rise.
Faster, maybe.
Well,
Within days, literally days, of hitting peak popularity, T gets it with not one, but two major data breaches.
oh, wow.
And the second one, people described it as even worse, leaking really sensitive, really recent user info.
So the very thing promising safety becomes a source of danger.
Yeah.
That's striking.
Exactly. The promise of collective safety, built on trust and anonymity, just sort of crumbled.
Yeah, the moment that underlying security failed, the whole concept kind of inverted itself, turned into a huge vulnerability.
And that's exactly what we're digging into in this deep dive. We want to unpack the whole story of the T app.
How it was built, what went wrong with the security.
And the big one. What do these breaches really tell us about privacy, about trust, and, about how anonymous we really are online, especially in your own digital life?
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit more. T was basically a social platform, but only for women.
Right, you had to get verified. They asked for a photo.
Sometimes even more, right?
Yeah.
Like a driver's license.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty serious verification. Once you were in, you could look up men by name.
And then assign them, what, a red flag or a green flag?
Yep, red flag, green flag, and leave anonymous comments.
Anonymous comments.
Here's the kicker, the really crucial part. Men couldn't get on the app at all.
So they couldn't see the reviews, couldn't respond.
Nope, no access, no reply. It was completely one-sided. And the app itself admitted there was very little room for nuance.
So it boiled down complex situations to just good or bad, red or green.
Pretty much. Which brings up a big question, even setting aside the security nightmare for a second.
Does a system like that inherently cause problems? Reputation, trust.
Right. The tagline was, dating safely for women. They even advertised features like running background checks.
Checking for sex offenders, identifying catfish, things like that. That was the promise.
That was the promise. But think about the other side. Anonymous accusations, no proof needed, no right to reply.
Yeah, the potential for reputational damage is massive. Even if the intentions were good, it's a system that seems ripe for misuse or just serious unintended consequences.
And the scale. They apparently got over 2.5 million requests to join.
So potentially millions of women could be seeing these unverified flags and comments about someone.
Who might not even know their name is on this app.
Wow. The potential impact is huge. And then comes the irony.
Oh, the irony is just huge. An app designed for women's safety ends up leaking the private data of those women.
And the men they discussed, too, presumably in detail in some cases.
So that first breach, T confirmed it, right? It involved some kind of old data storage.
Yeah, a legacy data storage system was the term used, I think, which often means, older tech, maybe servers that were updated, forgotten databases.
Stuff that wasn't properly secured or even shut down.
Exactly. And that leak included something like 72,000 images.
Right. And around 13,000 of those were the verification photos, selfies, IDs.
The very things people submitted to prove they were real women needing a safe space.
Just incredible. But, okay, that was breach number one. Then, just when you think it can't get worse.
Breach number 2 happens. And this one sounded, well, much more concerning.
Because it was recent data, right? Not just old legacy stuff.
Precisely. An independent security researcher, Khosrow Rajardi, found this one. And crucially, it was a different database.
Not the same vulnerability as the first breach.
Apparently not. A separate system holding much more current and much more sensitive information.
Which suggests maybe the problem wasn't just one mistake, but maybe deeper issues.
It definitely suggests a potential lack of, let's say, a unified security strategy.
Yeah.
Different parts of their system might have had different serious weaknesses. Not a good sign.
And when we say sensitive, what are we talking about here?
We are talking really sensitive. Direct messages, private conversations between users on the app.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, discussing things like abortions, partners cheating, sharing phone numbers.
Stuff you'd only share if you thought it was absolutely private.
Exactly. The kind of communication you assume is locked down tight, especially in an app promising safety and anonymity. This wasn't public profile stuff.
This was the private back-channel communication.
Right. And what's really alarming is, who else found this vulnerability before the researcher did?
We don't know. Malicious actors could have been in there.
There's just no way to know for sure. And the data itself, incredibly private, potentially damaging not just for the women writing it, but for the men being discussed in detail.
And didn't they say that even with anonymous usernames, it wasn't that hard to connect some messages back to real people?
That was reported, yes.
Yeah.
So the anonymity promise itself was shaky.
Which opens the door to all sorts of real-world harm, blackmail, harassment.
Reputational destruction. It goes beyond just data being out there. It's about how it could be weaponized.
So for an app built entirely on protecting users, these breaches just completely shattered that trust.
Fundamentally undermined it. It's like you said, building a house that looks safe but has no real foundation. Looks good until things go wrong.
And they went very wrong here. So let's just pull back for a second, connect the dots.
Okay.
You have this app, designed to protect women, anonymous reviews of men.
The safety promise.
Right. And ironically, it leads to this massive leak of incredibly private data, both for the women using it and about the men they're talking about.
The protector becomes the source of the vulnerability.
It's such a stark example, isn't it, of how fragile online anonymity actually is.
It really is. This T-app situation just perfectly highlights how critical data security is, especially when you hand over information thinking it's for your safety.
And that second breach. Those direct messages.
Yeah, abortions, cheating partners, phone numbers, the most sensitive stuff. And even with the supposedly anonymous usernames, tying it back to real people wasn't impossible.
So even when you think you're anonymous,
your digital trail, combined with how well or how poorly a platform secures things, can completely expose you. Anonymity is often more of an illusion than a guarantee.
It really leaves us with this paradox, doesn't it? This app promises safety, promises anonymity, and it takes thousands of women's photos, their IDs, their most private messages,
and stores them so insecurely that they get breached. Twice.
So the big question for you, listening, is, what does this whole mess really tell us about how much we trust these digital platforms?
And maybe, how much responsibility do we as users need to take? How much should you investigate the actual security behind these apps before handing over your most intimate data?
It's definitely something worth thinking long and hard about.